irritable, to the point where life as a non-smoker seems intolerable. Because the empty, insecure feeling caused by the little monster is indistinguishable from hunger and normal stress, and because ex-smokers continue to experience hunger and normal stress after they've quit, they often interpret those feelings in their mind as, I want a cigarette, even after the little monster has disappeared. And so they're never sure whether they've kicked it. And even if they do manage to stop permanently, they're often left moping for a cigarette at certain times for the rest of their lives. Alan Carr's method uses the opposite approach, changing your perception of cigarettes even before you stop, so that afterwards you don't miss them. Smokers often try to cut down because they can't face stopping completely, but it doesn't work. You don't allow yourself to light up whenever you want to, so you're suffering the craving most of the time and waiting to smoke. Now your whole life is dominated by the next cigarette, which seems the most precious thing on earth, and you usually end up smoking more than you did before. All the so-called special cigarettes seem to be after a period of abstinence. The first in the morning, after a meal, after work, after exercise, after sex, etc. This is because the only actual pleasure or crutch smokers receive when they light up is not the cigarette itself, but the ending of the aggravation of craving it. Just like a hunger for food, the longer you suffer it, the greater the pleasure when you finally relieve it. So the less we smoke, the greater the illusion of pleasure. Far from helping you to escape from the trap, cutting down keeps you a slave for life. And smokers make the mistake of thinking it's just a habit. They think, if I can get into the habit of just smoking a few a day, after a while I'll get used to that. You need to get it clearly into your mind, smoking is not a habit, it's drug addiction. If it was simply a habit, you would have already broken it. Perhaps you think habits are hard to break. They're not. In Britain, we're in the habit of driving on the left, but have no problem switching to the right when abroad. Furthermore, the nature of drug addiction is to want more and more, not less and less. Fortunately, the addiction is also easy to break, providing you understand the nature of the trap. You now have all the information you need to stop smoking easily, painlessly, and permanently. Providing you've understood the nicotine trap and realized that cigarettes do absolutely nothing for you at all. And let me make this clear, I don't simply mean the disadvantages of smoking outweigh the advantages, that's obvious. I mean you've realized that there are no advantages, no genuine pleasure or crutch whatsoever. Then you're ready to follow the instructions that'll make it easy for you to quit. The brainwashing has been reversed. Your perceptions have changed. The illusions you had about smoking have gone, and you now see cigarettes for what they really are. You thought they were your friend, but in fact, they're your worst enemy. Get it clearly into your mind, there's nothing to give up. The pleasure, crutch, relaxation, stress relief, prop, reward or friend you thought smoking gave you were illusions. Smoking is simply drug addiction. You're not making any sacrifice whatsoever, so there's no reason to feel deprived. You didn't enjoy being a smoker, that's why you've decided to stop. You're achieving what every smoker would love to achieve: freedom. You're making marvelous positive gains in health, energy, money, self-respect, confidence, and most importantly of all, in the length and quality of your future life. And you're losing nothing at all. This is one of those rare situations where there's absolutely no downside whatsoever and a huge upside. So approach the process of stopping not with doom or gloom, but with a marvellous feeling of excitement, a sense of relief that the whole filthy nightmare is finally over, and a feeling of elation that you're now finally free. Enjoy being a non-smoker right from the start. I would like you now to smoke your very last and final cigarette. You need to make a solemn vow that you'll never smoke another cigarette, cigar, pipe, or take tobacco or nicotine in any form ever again. This is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. The length and quality of your future life critically depend on it, and there can't be anything more important to you than that. Unlike other vital decisions we make, such as what we do for a living, we can never be certain that they're correct, because we can never know what would have happened if we'd done something else. The beauty of the decision you're making now is that you know it's correct even as you make it. Having made what you know to be the correct decision, never ever even begin to question or doubt it, because it's only the questioning or doubting of that decision that can possibly make it difficult for you to stop. Don't avoid smoking situations. Go out, handle stress, and enjoy meals, drinks, and social occasions right from the start. Remember, you're not being deprived. You haven't given up living. In fact, you haven't given up anything. Smokers are being deprived of their health, energy, money, peace of mind, self-respect, confidence, and freedom. They are drug addicts. Observe them, particularly at social occasions. Notice how they're only comfortable while they're smoking subconsciously. When they become aware of their smoking, they're uncomfortable, self-conscious, and defensive. Notice how quickly they extinguish each cigarette and automatically light up the next one. Casual smokers will smoke 5 in front of you. You say, "I thought you only smoked 5 a day." They say, "Well, parties are different. It's always different." Smokers lie not only to other people, but also to themselves. Just remember that when a smoker leaves your company, they have got to continue smoking. The next day when their chest feels like a cesspit, the next cancer scare, the next budget day, the next time they're in the company of non-smokers, the next time they're not allowed to smoke, the next time their family gives them that haunted look, the next time they feel completely stupid. They've got to spend the rest of their lives paying a fortune to risk horrendous diseases, to suffer a lifetime of mental and physical slavery. The bad breath, the stained teeth, the wheezing, the coughing, the lethargy, the social stigma, being despised by the rest of the population. But worst of all, otherwise intelligent, attractive, healthy, rational human beings despising themselves because they're the slave to something they themselves detest. And all for what? What do they actually get in return for this life of misery? Nothing. Not one single thing. They're just trying to get back to that state of peace and tranquility they had before they lit the first cigarette. The state that non-smokers enjoy their entire lives. And the one thing that's preventing them from actually reaching that state is the next cigarette itself. Don't envy them. Pity them. They'll be envying you, because they'll be wishing they could be like you, a non-smoker, free from the whole filthy nightmare. Remember, your body will continue to withdraw from nicotine over the next few days, but this doesn't mean you have to be miserable. On the contrary, enjoy the process right from the start. You've been the slave of this little monster for years. Now it's your turn to be the master, as you enjoy starving it to death. The little monster is searching for a fix, and you're simply going